Hello, so glad that you're here. This is Ask Me Anything with Dan Hendon. I would love to help you grow in pursuing the passion that God has given you. So let me know what God has called you to, what you are excited about. Hi, Christine. So glad that you're here. Let me know what God has called you to, what type of creativity and business God is leading you towards, and how I might be of service. I am switching things over to get TikTok up and going. Had um, some unexpected visitors. Which was cool, but set me a couple minutes behind what I was anticipating. But I am so glad to be here with you. Is my voice coming through good on here? Can you hear me well? Good. Glad you can hear me. Thank you so much for letting me know. I was doing a live a little bit earlier on TikTok to try uh, a different software that might make these lives a little bit easier on that. And one of the questions I asked while I was doing that was, what are you grateful for today? So if you wouldn't mind sharing, what are you grateful for today? Got that. Why is that not giving me a save option? Tim, save. Already got that checked. Oh, there we go. What are you grateful for today? I'd love to hear it. I'm here to answer any business questions that you have, or if I don't have the answer, I can help you walk through the answer. So often, when it comes to the the questions that we have for our businesses, they may not necessarily be a straightforward, one size fits all answer for everybody. It could be something that's a little different for you and your business. I'd love to hear what you got going on, and I am working on getting this to go live with TikTok. It looks like I am there or almost there. Ah, good. We are live on TikTok as well, so I'm here and I'm going to be jumping back and forth between which screen I am looking at, but I am here to do my best to answer any business or entrepreneurship questions that you might have. And some of the time, one of the great things about being a business coach is that I recognize that you know your business and you know your passion far more intimately than I could ever know. But one of the things that makes coaching so great is it draws us into an opportunity where I draw out of you the different key components and help you to come up with a solution that not only is a good fit for you, but also that you are much more likely to actually take action on. I know every single one of us has gone through some type of situation where we've known the right thing to do. We've known what we could get done, and we've even told someone, "Yeah, I'll do that," but we didn't follow through on it because that wasn't where we were. That wasn't what was going to be the highest priority for us. And so getting to know who we are and what our specific problem is and designing a tailor-made solution to our problems is one of the things I love about being a business coach is I get to actually help you with your problem, not just all right, here's this blanket answer that this is my solution for you. No, you are the expert in your business. I am the expert at helping you maximize who you are and what you are doing. So, share with me any questions that you have. This is an Ask Me thing. This is an opportunity for you to really dive in and wrestle through any questions you may be struggling with in your business and creative journey. So please let me know. Thank you so much for the hearts and the likes. I really do appreciate them. Um, they help me to serve more people because they teach the algorithm that people like what we're doing and are getting a blessing from it. So let me know, what is your question? What are you going through? Devin, glad you're here. Let me know what business question you might be wrestling with or struggling with. This is an opportunity to really do a deep dive into any particular difficulty that we might be struggling with. We're trying a little bit of a different time than we have tried in the past for some of these AMAs because you just never know what's quite going to work for people and wanted to give this time a try. Um, You have a partner who will need to be setting a goal or deadline for something. How can you encourage him to buckle in without nagging? That is a very good question. It's so important that as we build our businesses, as we pursue these big God-given dreams, that we are on the same page with our partners, with our spouses. And God has called us to work together, not to work just in parallel with one another. And I think there are a few different components that I have seen work. One is encourage them for who you know God to have created them to be. Help them remember and recall that God has equipped them to do this. So call out their best self. Call out who God has made them to be. Call out who you are, who you know them to be, and encourage them rather than nagging. Some of that comes down to an attitude. The difference between encouragement versus nagging is the attitude with which it's presented. And sometimes I know when when our spouse doesn't follow through on the things that they know is good for them, that we know is good for them. Sometimes it's the things that they've committed to do, then it can be easy to let that frustration seep through. And so sometimes it is taking a step back and before approaching our spouse, before approaching our partner, being willing to say, all right, God, what in my attitude may not be right? How can I present this in a good way? Another way is to ask your partner, what would it look like for me to encourage you in this? Another thing would be, all right, who can you bring into your life as um, who can you bring into your life as a accountability partner that's not you? Because when we are our spouse's accountability partner, sometimes it can come across as nagging, where if there's someone that's a little bit more outside the situation, that can be a good way of making it feel less accusatory, less attacking. And so encouraging your partner to really dive deep and look at the different challenges that they're going through and what it's going to take. Another thing, uh, I'm a little biased here, but I would encourage every business owner to have a business coach, have someone that is going to hold them accountable, someone that's going to challenge them in a beneficial way of what does it look like for you to take the next step. Oh, you didn't take the step that you committed to. Well, what got in the way, and how can we set you up for success rather than failure? Maybe it's okay, was this project or this idea too big? How do we need to step it down a notch or break it from the big picture to granular and say, all right, what is a smaller step in pursuit of this big goal, this big picture, this deadline that they have set that will help you get there? And so, that I would say, those are some incredibly helpful ways um, to help your spouse to move forward. Um, Another thing is you can encourage them to set goals and to set rewards that will empower them to celebrate when they succeed, celebrate with them when they succeed, so that you guys get that shared experience together. um, but I would encourage you not to be the person that does the rewarding for them or does the consequences, because I don't think that will set you up for a good, healthy situation for your business or for your marriage. And so those are some of the things that I think are extremely helpful in helping a partner or a spouse that needs to move forward on some goals or some deadlines. I hope that that has been helpful. It's a great question, something that I think we all need to consider more. Yeah. What other questions might you have? In the comments section, I'd love to hear um, what you're working on and what kind of the next step in the process is. We have some big dreams, and I am stoked to see how I can be a part of you reaching those goals. How can you be appropriately generous with your days when you have a small business um, and a small budget with your business? Yeah, that's a really good question. There are, I mean, we all look at the size of uh, a business a little. Um, there's a lot of perspective in what is a small business. Um, for many of us who are just getting started, it may be anything under uh, our next goal may be $10,000 a year, or it may be $10,000 a month, or it could be $100,000 a month, or $1 million a month. And I know that the and different businesses have different overheads. So when looking to um, be a blessing and be generous with your employees, you've got to take into consideration what are their needs? What are ways that you can be an encouragement without it feeling like it's some sort of obligatory well, I had to get you something and I couldn't give you a bonus, so it's this um crappy trinket. One of the things that I recently heard about was a guy who, as he would interact with people and encourage them, one of the questions that he would ask them is, "What is your dream car?" And after they would answer, he'd go and he would find a Hot Wheels version of that dream car, and he would send it to them with an encouraging note saying, "Hey, this is a reminder for one of the goals that you're working towards. This is a reminder that as you're working hard, you are working to the place where you can reach that place." There's always different opportunities, like um, getting something that will make their job easier, make it more productive, something maybe the things that they're going through, and a uh, a gift card to a local grocery store. Even with gift cards, there's sometimes a difficulty of, oh, do they shop at this grocery store? Is that where they would go? Would they actually go to that restaurant? So an option for that with a gift card is doing something like a, a Visa or a MasterCard gift card, where you say, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you so much for all the hard work that you've been doing. Here's, I know it's not much, but I wanted to bless you and your spouse and encourage you to take them on a date. Here's um, 30, 50, $100 on this card to go towards having a date. I hope that it would be an encouragement and a blessing to you. Really do appreciate all your hard work and your commitment to the vision of this company." And when you do that, you are tying your appreciation into something that would be practical for them, something that would be a blessing. Maybe it's a little above and beyond what they'd normally be able to do. And when it comes down to it, if going out on a date is not as important as making sure that they have groceries, if they choose to get groceries and say, "Hey, had a date at home, and we're able to do that," they're able to do that because while you can encourage, "This is the idea that I had for what you would do, for the direction you would go with this," you're still giving them the opportunity. And when they're using that gift card rather than just cash or a check that they've deposited into their account, they're able to go, "Oh, yeah, my business cares about me." And it's a way of reminder that they are loved and that they are appreciated. So I hope those are some helpful ideas on how how can we be appropriately generous with employees, even when we have a small budget for our business? That is an awesome question. And it goes along with one of the things that I was thinking about in preparing for this time is what does generosity look like in business? How in our faith we're encouraged to be generous, we're encouraged to give to our local church, we're encouraged to care for the poor, we're encouraged to care for those who are hurting and in distress. Sometimes being generous with our employees is being generous with our time with them, being willing to sit down with them and listen when they're having a difficult time, when we notice that they're frustrated, or um, sometimes it is being willing to be flexible with employees and say, you know what, I know you've got some things going on. As long as you can get your work done, um, take this week and work from home. Um, I mean, that obviously you can't do that with a waitress. You're not gonna do something like that. But think through how you can get creative. Um, there are businesses that have grown significantly where they have a high employee count, and they found that it would be easier in many ways to provide childcare and early schooling on site where um, where parents could, as they come into work, rather than paying each of these families an additional 20 to 50K, that at least that they would need for this additional education stuff, then they would be able to they would be able to hire some people to do that and provide for a greater number of people the different needs that they have. So be thinking through creatively that it doesn't just have to be some, when you're generous with your employees, it doesn't have to be something that everybody does. It doesn't have to be the obligatory Christmas gift or the New Year's bonus, or all of these different ideas that we often attribute to what generosity looks like in the workplace. But get creative and think what will actually help my employee to have a better working experience. Another thing is cut down on the unnecessary meetings. If a meeting could have been an email, it should be an email. There are few things more frustrating than going into a meeting and feeling like you have to be there because it was put on your schedule by someone above you, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, I've got nothing to contribute to this meeting. I'm getting nothing out of this meeting. This is actually preventing me from getting the work done. That's one of the things that I love about the culture that Elon Musk has created in Tesla and SpaceX. Is if you are in a meeting and you realize that you are not contributing anything and you're not getting anything out of it, it is an expectation that you leave that meeting. And too many of our businesses are run with the expectation of this is taking my time, so it needs to take my employees' time. And that's not the best use of our energy. That's not the best use of the blessings that God has given us. And so I wanted to encourage you that just because a meeting is is expected for people to be at. Encourage people to actually get their work done rather than being bored in a meeting that really has little to no effect on them. If it can be an email, it should be an email. So we've talked a bit about what generosity can look like for our employees. What does it look like to be generous with our customers, with our clients? How how do we be generous with them? There are all sorts of ways. One, um, if you've got the ability to do it, sometimes it's nice. I tend not to encourage people to discount their prices. It it sends a subtle message to your customers. Hi. I, V4M13RZ. Glad that you're here. One of the things I encourage people not to do is to discount their prices. You can bundle your prices. Oh, vampire. Okay. I'm a big fan of all things vampire, so very cool. I just didn't see the P, so um, very cool. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're on this. The When we choose to be generous with our clients and with our customers, one of the things that is really important is that we actively choose to um, go above and beyond rather than discount the price. That we can create bundles so that because you are purchasing this all together, you are getting a thank you so much for your agreement with the things that I've been saying. Uh, the You don't want to position your product and your service as being less valuable than it actually is, just because. And so I would encourage you to really think how you can go above and beyond rather than how you can discount your prices. Another thing is maybe offering a special of because you have been this valued employee. I want to make sure that you get this above and beyond thing. I know a guy who runs and I've had the blessing of coaching him some, but he runs a manufacturing company, and one of his suppliers for the different HVAC stuff that they implement is they give awards to the owners and the companies that buy the most product. And so sometimes it's a new set of golf clubs, sometimes it's a trip to Hawaii, sometimes it's this wonderful opportunity that people might not expect, but you're giving something above and beyond rather than reducing the value of what you are giving by reducing your prices. You're increasing the value of what you are giving by going above and beyond. And so, those are some of the ways that you can choose actively to be a generous person, to move forward in the blessings that God has given you in being generous, not just with your employees, but also with your customers or clients. This has been an amazing opportunity. I'm going to stay on here for another 3 to 5 minutes. If you've got any questions, anything that you are wanting to walk through, please put them in the chat, and I'd love to talk through what are some and brainstorm with you how to overcome some of the challenges that you are experiencing. Vampire, what is your favorite vampire book? Oh, it looks like you've left. It was nice chatting with you while we had the time. This has been a fantastic opportunity for me. I really appreciate you being on this Ask Me Anything. I, I hope and I pray that it has been an encouragement for you, and that you have grown in our ability to be generous and to encourage encourage our spouses as we move forward. Um, God is so good, and I love being able to come alongside you as you pursue your God given dreams and as you build your business and life God's way. God bless.